money and she knows how to make it fast. She's got the call of the watch, don't worry about the past. She's been gone a long, long time. Now that she's back in town.
Uncle Roddus back again. Not very well organised. Okay, bunch of records have come in over the last 5 or 6 days. Last 7 days. Been a bloody busy week actually. First of all, I had to go into town. What did I have to go into town for? Impromptu visit to the city. Oh no, it wasn't. It was my last dental appointment, that's right. Yeah, that was an expensive day. Anyway, I left a little bit early, cleaned up my work in the morning and left a little bit earlier. Had to go to my wholesalers to do some things. And it turned out that Galaxy Records, not far from my wholesalers actually, were having a sale, and they were having a half price sale off all items in shop. Well, most items in shop. And I didn't think I was going to get there. They don't have a huge stock of stuff. It's a very small shop, and it's really, the guy does it part-time. I mean, Galaxy is historically they're an important shop in Christchurch, and they're certainly a shadow of their former self. But anyway, 50% off sale. I thought, right, okay, I didn't think I was going to get in there in time to do anything about it, but and funds weren't exactly, you know, because I've done a lot of shopping online, so funds weren't exactly prevalent. So I went in there and had a look through the vinyl. It wasn't, I mean, the sale had been going for a couple of days, so a lot of stuff had probably already gone. So there wasn't much in the New Zealand section in the vinyl. And I was chatting to Dave, and I had a look through the CDs actually. That was, I had it in my mind because I know he's got a reasonable collection of New Zealand CDs. So I thought, bugger it, I might have a look into CDs and see if I can pick up some stuff on CD, and I did. But I was talking to him about stuff as we do, and you know, Dave knows he's a musician himself, and he's been around the music scene in Christchurch for many years, and knows a lot of the people in Christchurch anyway. And we were talking about, he mentioned about he wasn't selling everything at half price. He had taken stuff off the shelf, which is, you know, stuff that he couldn't sell at half price. A guy had dropped some records in. A musician guy had dropped some records in on the weekend who had played a gig across the road, and I was tempted to go to that gig. And he had some records that I had a look at, but they weren't on sale. But anyway, I got through the CD bins. Last weekend I went to see a band called Great North, that are a Kiwi band. It's their final tour. It's a husband and wife duo with some extra musicians. Great North are fantastic. I've shown their record they put out last year. I think they're a really quality and sort of indie pop, slightly Americana. I mean, they use a steel lap guitar thingy and piano, and that's basically, and guitar, that's basically all they had on stage this gig. It was a really good gig, great band. Picked up their newest CD called The Caravan Recordings, Volume 1. I think it's a bunch of live and stripped back recordings. One song was off the last album, and that's a really good album, and they played a lot of stuff off that record, off that CD. It's not, I haven't actually got it here, but the Eastern are another New Zealand band who are really good, a great Americana type band. And lo and behold, at Galaxy they had a whole bunch of their CDs. Well, all the so this is an EP. They did about 2007. That was their very first recording. This one, which isn't on Discogs, so I'm going to have to list it, is the second EP they did, and they also did one more EP. Actually, not in there, it's in the CD player. And then this one is their first album that they did. Yeah, really good music. So there's only one more CD that they did, one more EP on CD that I haven't got, and one more album that I haven't got, which I'll try and track down. Unfortunately, they never had vinyl releases. I was fantastically impressed to find this, and I got it for a really cheap price because it was a 50% off sale. This is Mountain Eater, their only LP. I have a 7-inch on Monkey Killers, which was the last item in the discography of Monkey Killer Records. The Mountain Eater played a lot of gigs with the guy who runs Monkey Killer. He was surprised that I found this. He knows the band, has played with them. He put out, the guy that put out the record, he's in the band as well, and you know, yeah, we were having a chat about it on Facebook. This is fantastic, grungy, post-rocky sort of instrumental stuff. It is really good. I think there are vocals on it. I'm just absolutely impressed. Anyway, so the guy that had dropped some records off into Galaxy is a guy who's been around the Christchurch scene for many, many years, Richie Venus, and this is a compilation LP. So he dropped this off, so I didn't get it for half price, unfortunately, but because it's New Zealand music and on vinyl, I grabbed it while I was there. So Richie Venus, Battling the Odds, 1974 to 2003. So he's been around the scene for quite a long time. Sort of a rock and roll revivalist in a manner of speaking. This is a great compilation. Most of the tracks on here are actually his own material that he wrote himself. This is reissue, well, not a reissue, but a compilation from Unwunked Records, who've been doing a lot of Christchurch, really obscure Christchurch bands have been reissuing or issuing unreleased material. A lot of the bands were on Onset Offset. Onset Offset was a very low-key Christchurch label, and it turned out that Richie had also dropped off this record. Now, and I think it's really cheap. I mean, this is a brand new copy. I think it's never been played. That he'd had for many years. It came out in 1989, and it is an original Onset Offset Records. And I've never knew anything about them till recently, but I've got a bit of music. They did a bit of Bill Doreen stuff, I think, as well, in a very small amount. So this is from 1989, I think. And yeah, I mean, it's all covers mostly. There is the title track, You Can't Fight It, is an original. There's Carl Perkins, Elvis Presley, Gene Vincent, Chuck Berry, yeah, a bunch of other stuff. Richard Berry. Yeah, so this is all more rock and roll rockabilly than what's behind me. But this is the compilation that's playing in the background. But I'm really pleased to get this because it's an original Onset Offset, and they are rare as hen's teeth, really, to be honest. And he was selling it for $15. So that was a score. I mean, he had those behind the counter, so they weren't out on the shelf. Arriving in the mail, Black Minalaushi. This was their first album, Vacant Lot, not Parking Lot, from 2013. I got their other album late last year, so I thought I'd finally grab their first one off their Bandcamp page. So yeah, this is on nice blue vinyl, you can see there. I'm not going to take it out of its bag right now. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Arriving today is a 10-inch. I don't normally buy 10 inches. Cyrock 1 Omega Point Blank. This is a 4-track EP on 10-inch. Cy is actually Simon, or Cy is his name, Cyrock, but not P-S-Y, it's S-I. This is kind of a self-reduced thing he did. That he got pressed up over in Australia, and he got pressed only 10 copies of it. This is on clear vinyl. So it was kind of like, I think, lathe cut to vinyl. He got 10 copies made up of it, and I missed out on the first 10. And we just sold them all to the group, to the Facebook group. And then he decided that there was enough people to warrant another 10 copies. So this is number 6 of 10. The first copy was on black vinyl, and this is on clear vinyl. He said that because it's a small run, because it's such a small run, he's not making any money out of it. Anyway, it's really cool. It's kind of electronica sort of stuff, and I had listened to it on Bandcamp, and it's actually pretty cool. So yeah, I mean, that's number 6 of 10. That's probably the rarest record I ever own now. Okay, yeah, so I got on the internet, and I got onto Amazon, and I was looking at some stuff, and I went on a bit of an Amazon binge. Wayfaring Strangers is a compilation series, of which I think there are 6 or 7 releases at the moment, compilations of various types of music. This is Cosmic American Music. So this is really, and there's a quote on Graham Parsons here, and a bit of talk about Graham Parsons. I haven't actually read the liner notes in the middle yet, but so this is really obscure singer-songwriter, country sort of inflected country music, really. I mean, and it's really good. I mean, I think it might be worth tracking down some of the artists on it because it's really, really good. I'm really enjoying it. Yeah. So, and also a couple of others. Now I knew about these because they've been posted on Facebook and especially on the New Zealand one. But this is another Wayfaring Strangers Dark Scorch Canticles. This is sorry. Lift that in the middle. They're really thick cardboard on these. There's a cool cover on this. They're really thick cardboard on these, and it's really quite hard getting the records in and out. So I'm going to have to have a look at that. But each of these issues has a really good booklet. This one is kind of more late 60s, early 70s fuzz, psych, grungy sort of stuff. It's really cool. And yeah, most of them, the bands have put out very, very few records. None of them I'd ever actually heard of, knew anything about. Stonehenge, Wrath, Stone Axe, Ear, Medusa, Arrogance. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. And then the last one I picked up, and this is probably, I think I like the country music one the best, but this is really, really cool, and the cover is just fantastic. So this is Acid Nightmares. This is the one that I've sort of seen on the Facebook pages the most. They weren't cheap, but they weren't expensive either. So pretty cool scores and pretty cool compilations. And I think people will a lot of people know these. Numero Group, I think it is. So this is more fuzzy rock sort of stuff from the early 70s. Again, pretty obscure bands. Really fucking good, really good. Absolutely. And then today arrived this. Now I have a rule that I don't obey very well, but I don't buy vinyl copies of records I already have on CD because I would rather buy music I don't already have, and because there's so much music out there. But I saw this come up and on Facebook, and I actually went on Amazon, and man, it was so cheap. I got this shipped to New Zealand, 5 LP box set for $100, just over $100. I mean, you cannot complain. So what they've done is they've boxed all 3 of their albums on vinyl, plus 2 of them are on stereo and mono versions. So I'll quickly show you the so we've got the stereo version of Buffalo Springfield, the first LP, and then the mono version of the same thing. Although on this one, the tracks listing they put for what it's worth on the end of side 2 instead of the start of side 1, which I think it normally, I don't know if that's what it was on the original reissues, but on my CD reissue that I have, so I love Buffalo Springfield. They are one of my top 6 bands from the 1960s. Second LP, mono, stereo, and the last time around just in stereo only, probably wasn't recorded in mono. Actually this opens out too. As I said, they are one of my all-time favourite 60s bands. They're up there with West Coast pop art experimental band, Spirit, Mothers of Invention. So that is another wee pile. It's been a busy week in the mail, and tomorrow I'm going to meet a guy in town off the Facebook page who's down here in town. He's got about half a dozen records that he's selling me for a pretty good price, some ECMs and Blue Notes. So I'm going to take my scrap copper into town and sell that, and then go to Penny Lane afterwards. So more records. Alright, okay, well that's me for now. I hope you enjoyed that. Not so much New Zealand stuff this time, apart from, well, half New Zealand and half not. Yeah. Okay. See you next time. Bye.